These scenes are not from a fictional film, nor a horror movie about vampires or cannibals produced by Hollywood or Bollywood. They are real, brutal images the bloodshed inflicted by imperialist forces of Bashar al-Assad. These are the acts of inhuman monsters whose cowardly surpasses that of hyenas and stray dogs. These monsters appeared in the Tadamon neighborhood south of Damascus, forcing innocent people, hands bound and eyes blindfolded, toward a fiery bed of death. What are the details of the crime that shook the Tadamon neighborhood, Damascus, Syria, and the world? How was this crime uncovered after being hidden for 9 years? And how were those responsible exposed and some of them arrested recently? On one of the tragic days in Damascus, specifically in the Tadamon neighborhood, with its narrow streets, tightly packed buildings and alleys that were once full of life, one of the most horrific massacres in Syria and the human history took place, a massacre that remained hidden for many years until the truth was finally revealed. In 2013, the war in Syria was at its peak. The Syrian regime was converting a widespread popular oppressing the spirit from Dara to Hama, to Homs, Aleppo, Idlib, Jisr al-Shurur, Deir ez-Zor, the eastern region, the Jazeera region, and Damascus. The regime's response was one of the brutality, with shelling, torture, and massacres in the heart of Damascus. The Tadamon neighborhood was no exception, becoming a site of a barbaric crime. The Tadamon neighborhood, located within the Yarmouk refugee camp, home to both Palestinians and Syrians, was teeming with security checkpoints and militias controlling its entrance and exits. The regime sought to tighten its grip on every corner, every street, and every breath the people took. However, what no one knew at the time was that behind the walls and in the dark tunnels, monsters were preparing for one of the most brutal massacres in modern history. On April 16, 2013, a group of detainees and kidnappers, blindfolded and with their hands bound, stood before the regime soldiers and intelligence officers surrounded by them. Unaware of what awaited, the Syrian regime soldiers and intelligence agents issued orders, laughing and treating them as if they were not human. One by one, they were led toward large bed, prepared, advanced, and lined with car tires. Perhaps they believed this was just an interrogation or questioning session, but the reality was far worse than any nightmare. They fell into the bed of death. The soldiers filmed the scenes, exchanging laughs as if they were not taking lives but playing a cheap hunting game. To cover up the crime, after stacking the bodies on top of each other, they threw another layer of car tires over them, poured gasoline, set them on fire, and buried the bed in just 25 minutes, as if these people had never existed. This is just one massacre among many, one of 27 massacres in which 5 innocent lives were lost: children, women, young people, university students, elderly individuals, and professors, all executed in cold blood in the same manner. These massacres, including this one, were carried out with aim of cleansing and committing genocide to achieve an even more criminal and monstrous goal: to terrorize the people of Damascus and Syrian in general, forcing them to flee and causing a demographic shift by naturalizing Shia individuals, brought them from Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan, and Pakistan. Their numbers exceeded 2 million, replacing Syrians and taking over their lands and homes. These massacres involved Iranian Shia militias, Hezbollah, sectarian militias from Iraq, Afghanistan, and Pakistan, as well as the criminal and sectarian al-Assad regime. The truth emerged after years. The days and years passed, and the massacre remained buried, just like its victims, until 2022. The British newspaper The Guardian published a video on April 27, 2022, reportedly leaked by a soldier in a pro-regime militia, showing the execution of 41 civilians, including 7 women and several children, by Syrian regime forces. The crime video ended up in the hands of a regime soldier after he was giving a laptop to repair. The video was found in a folder on the device. According to the investigative report, the soldier leaked the video to Syrian activist Ansar Shahroud and Professor Or Omid Angor, who works at the Holocaust and Genocide Center at the University of Amsterdam. They had been following the case for 3 years until they tracked down the person seen in the video. The investigation revealed the identity of the perpetrator, named Amjad